to representing and championing one of the greatest institutions in the world, the University of Oxford.
Oxford is indeed one of the great universities of the world, and it has one of the greatest collections of fine architecture of any city in the world, some of it dating back to the 14th century. But it also has a broad range of modern buildings by leading figures like Arne Jacobsen, James Stirling, Alison Peter Smithson and Powell and Moyer. Mica is one of the most prolific firms currently working in the university and have been doing so for over 30 years, starting as Rick Mather Architects, but changing its name after Rick sadly died in 2013. Stuart Cade, the CA in Mica, gave me a tour around some of the firm's key projects in the city. We began in Butterfield's polychromatic quads at Keble College and at the Arco building, where Stuart cut his teeth when he first joined the firm.
From this followed lots of other work and set a new typology and a new benchmark in Oxford. This was the first en-suite residential accommodation building in Oxford in modern times, and also has 3 large commercial spaces, conference spaces. And the story is that this building's paid for itself within 3 years. It also marries that challenge of sitting into a kind of rich heritage setting and competing and complementing Butterfield, so taking the cue from the brickwork and the materiality and the metalwork from Butterfield into a contemporary interpretation. So scale is really important with this building, and one of the innovations is that it achieved a 5-storey building, nestling the building into the site, where only a 3-storey building seemed possible given the scale of the Butterfield buildings next door. And it accommodates 93 student bedrooms, ensuite student bedrooms, when the previous capacity study was about 35, so it was a huge increase for the college at the time. This is where Rick Mather Architects, Mica Architects completed a 10,000 square metre expansion of the museum. It's considered the world's first public museum, and a wonderful collection, world-class collection that's been brought out on display by our master plan works. We first completed a master plan strategy and have completed 3 subsequent phases of work, all behind the Cockerell, Charles Robert Cockerell edifice behind us, which is considered one of the most important Greek revival buildings in the UK, grade 1 listed. Everything that we did is invisible beyond this, apart from the glazed front door, which is a really important part of the opening out of the museum, again visible behind me. The project includes 39 new galleries for the collection. The collection was redisplayed within those galleries to be a cross-curatorial theme rather than individual domains and silos. This was about bringing the collections together in one big story that promoted the connections between those different collections, and the architecture plays to that kind of redisplay, and thematic connections are promoted in the architecture. So the project we're doing here for Hertford College is a new library extension. That's a new build component as well as a retrofit of existing spaces, and it's all topped by a wonderful roof terrace which has extraordinary views of the Hawksmoor Library and the Radcliffe Camera beyond. We are stood here on the High Street outside Queen's College. The High Street here behind me, Queen's College to the left. The frontage of this was inspired by Hawksmoor and is considered the grandest classical piece of architecture in central Oxford. Here we designed a refurbishment and extension of the historic library and archive, very important collection including Shakespeare's First Folio, and a very much needed and a very much needed library expansion to provide new seating space and archive and storage facilities for this really important college library. Many college projects in Oxford are built behind walls, within gardens and are concealed. This is no exception. Our library project is behind me, behind this wall within a private garden. The wall to my left is the wall that we temporarily removed in order to gain access for construction. And beyond is the library that we've extended and refurbished as part of the project. So Corpus Christi gardens are famed within Oxford. They're wonderful, rich, verdant gardens on quite a small scale because the college is quite small scale. So the gardens are very important, very unusual, diverse planting in this college. So the project we're stood in front of is the greenhouse and storage facilities for the gardener that we moved from the site of the auditorium that we developed. So the project behind me is one of our hidden projects, if you like. It seemed like a very sensitive site where a development seemed impossible, but the design found a way of making a development work in this constrained site. This is the Corpus Christi College Music Auditorium. It's nestled into the bastion of the city wall, and the stonework of the existing bastion is exposed within this wonderful space. And there are views and light from all angles, including the view to the Fellows building behind me. This space is a really key part of the project because we've added back a landscape to the roof of a project where otherwise we were taking away from the college by developing the site. So this was a really key part of the competition strategy and really successful and busy on a day like today. So what we provided for Jesus initially was a master planning exercise where we provided the college with a long-term strategy for the growth of the college. The building that resulted from that was a major new expansion for this college that provides residential, healthcare, well-being, multi-faith teaching space in addition to commercial facilities for the revenue and the long-term viability of the college. This is Colburn's Lane. This is a Saxon route that the project that we did reopened. So this connects from the centre of the Saxon city to a bastion in the city wall and was reopened and widened as part of our project. We are here in the fifth quad, the new space that we created for Jesus, so the first, second, third, fourth, fifth quad. And this space is the centrepiece or the kind of central area of the new development. Behind me, graduate residential accommodation arranged around staircases and generous kitchen spaces that you can see. Over my shoulder, and then behind me the cafe and new gatehouse of the development. So this is the main central internal new space for the college. It's primarily a digital hub for the teaching, research and display of digital media, but it's also the largest single space for the college. So this is bigger than the hall and the chapel, and we're able to gather 500 students, members of staff here in one single space. It's 3 tiers, triple height space with these formed in this forum arrangement of these concentric ovals, and it forms this quite striking central space for the college which can be used for display but also lectures, and works for sort of 15 people or 300 or 400 people. Behind me is the Jesus College Northgate project. So this is one of the most prominent new university collegiate buildings in the centre of Oxford, very front and centre. It accommodates retail on the lower 2 floors behind me, but above that is student residential, teaching, study, well-being and healthcare facilities, and very prominent in the city centre of Oxford. This is Nuffield College in the centre of Oxford. We are here in the main quad. Behind me is the tower and the re-landscaped parts of the college that we've changed, the pond behind me. This project is a series of retrofit projects across this 1960s college to make the college accessible primarily, move the entrance, create a new lodge, and create a really important new social and event spaces for the college, including a major lecture theatre, which is located on the west wing. This is a 1960s college. Doesn't look like a 1960s college, but it was conceived in the 30s, built in the 60s, and was built in the Cotswold style. And it was largely untouched from the late 60s until we started work here 3 or 4 years ago, where we've kind of uncovered lots of challenges, things to be resolved, from kind of level changes and accessibility issues to asbestos, and basically bringing the college up to modern needs and demands.
The modernist architectural historian Sir Nicholas Pevsner was unimpressed with the architecture at Nuffield, although he thought the tower helped the Oxford skyline, and he predicted the college would one day be loved. Certainly, with the work now being carried out by Mica to bring the building into the 21st century, Pevsner's prediction is coming true.